My topic today is about the impact of social media on English speaking and also writing skills for some learners who are students in UAE universities and also for teachers. So as we know, English is an international language and it is important. And also we try with our students to develop different skills regarding, listening and speaking, especially for foreign context. Always like the teachers and instructors use different kind of pedagogies just to enhance the students and their learning the new language for them. If it is like, for example, the English language, especially now with the digital world, and especially also what happens with the pandemic, we can see it like, using different kinds of social media is interesting and important for our students. So this study is mainly answering the questions of to what extent social media can help our students to improve their writing and speaking skills. If we go back to the literature review, we found that, there's like different kind of issues related to EFL, teaching and learning, and how it is influenced by technological innovations and how it is used, in the learning and teaching processes. And also, for example, when we think about the writing skills and speaking, we think about, let's say, fluency and accuracy with our students. And also, when we think more about the other skills, we try to emphasize on the technology. One example can be the social networking. What is the speaking skills? It's a process of building and sharing meaning. So it's not only words, it's about meaning, using our verbal, speaking, and also non-verbal symbols, in different contexts. And speaking is important skill for our students. And essentially, for them to grab a language, a foreign language is not an easy task. And also, when you think about speaking, it's not only about how to pronounce the words. It's more about as we said, it's sharing meanings and all that, and how can they fluent in speaking the language. When we think about the writing skills, writing skills is also important. Sometimes it's difficult and challenging for our students. And when we think how we can assess also their performance in writing. And as we know, the writing, the students cannot acquire it as the speaking, naturally. They need to learn, meaning, words, structure of sentences, grammar, semantics, and all these kind of issues. And for the teacher, they have to think about, okay, what kind of activities we can, build up for our students to improve their writing skills and also to improve their, motivation to continue learning about writing and how they write, because, they use it for taking notes, for writing assignments, and all that. There are different issues related to the English classroom. So, as we know, we think about, our students' success even beyond the classroom and beyond their higher education system, especially when they go to the employer in future. So they need to speak up and, to hear their voice using, for example, the English language, especially in a context of needed that language. There is issues sometimes related to psychological issues. Some of them have some kind of an anxiety, inhibition to, to speak up. So what we can do to motivate our students, so we can use, for example, the social media. And as we know, our students, especially those generations, okay, maybe they are different, than our generation, they love technology and are quicker learners, especially if they used to use the social media and other kind of technologies. Some of them, that kind of technologies, like for example, the social media, to reduce their ambiguity and anxiety, and it will help them through the learning processes. The term social media is what we call the social networking. So there are different type of applications, programs, website we can use, okay, and we can link it to the education system. For example, we are using what YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, blogs, other kinds of Google Classroom, different kinds of elements also. So those all we can use it in different purposes as we need. YouTube for discussions, Twitter maybe if you want to teach our students, especially like, if they are in pure linguistics, general linguistics, how to write like, small sentences or small themes or introduction or whatever. It depends on the limits of the word, for example. So as we said, social media, we can use it as a learning tool, which can improve the learning process for our students, improve their writing, their speaking also. The methodology that I use is a survey, quantitative. It has two parts, demographic, and then the questions. We have, we had 45 teachers, 124 students, and sometimes it's not easy to have that number. It is adapted from a survey that we were used. So the results, I had some related to teachers, some results related to students. So for example, this one for teachers. So there is questions related to the intensity of using the social media for education purposes, like how often they are using, the number is going high. And also you can see from the charts, like, however, like, have they ever using the social media for educational purposes? Because, all like in our real life, we are using social media, but do we actually use it and benefit for our educational purposes? So most of them say yes, especially, with, as I said, with new generation and with the pandemic from 2019 and all that. So, and also the questions about the interactions with the learners, how is it through social media? So they said like, 71.4, they are actually like, doing it. And also among those type of social media, which one they using, like, Skype, Zoom, Teams, WhatsApp, Telegram, all that, okay? So you can see they prefer, for example, Zoom. So it depends on what they're using. What about the language they're using? Mostly like English. Okay, if it's helpful or not for the students. So they said like, mostly yes. There's questions about, the reason why they are using social media platforms. Some of them, the questions based on what about, do they practice the language? Is it motivating the students? They are using, face to face, but through the social media, opening the videos and all that. So, here, you can see it's like mostly a motivator for them to speak up and do writing. Now we will go to the students questionnaire. Same, they're using social media, using it for educational purposes. Because also, when they interact with other friends, their colleagues, classmates, also they are using the social media. You can see here how much do they use it in touch with the, like, for example, the teachers and their classmates. You can see here they prefer maybe WhatsApp and then the Zoom based on the data we collected. WhatsApp is easier for everybody to use it on a daily basis. The questions related to the language is also English, especially when we have most of our courses, for example, in the EU in English, not Arabic. We have like few like Arabic courses, especially in education college, for example, and also if we think about other colleges. So to discuss, we can see like social media, it can be a good tool for teaching a professional. Sometimes it can be challenging because, as a teacher, we have to think, okay, how we can use it and what kind of methodology that we can use as a strategy to follow up with our students. So what kind of equipment do our students have, for example, the technology, internet, all these kinds of issues, but mostly like here in the UAE, we are in a good shape. So, and also, our students have it like, as a daily habit. So what about the integration? What about the online conversation? What about the atmosphere of enjoyment? We have kind of discussions, we connect with real like cases from, for example, Twitter, or so we can build up on those kind of skills, the reading and I mean writing and speaking. That would be trying to focus. So mostly they are using as the data like WhatsApp, Skype. So English is mostly are used, I think, because maybe Arabic is used more with family context and their French context. But for educational purposes, mostly like English, because the most of our institutions, the main language is English, and also with Arabic. But the advice is, okay, if we are using social media, we have to use it in appropriate way, and to use it to improve our students' reading, like speaking and writing skills. So, kind of recommendation for the teachers to try to use social media to prepare, for example, for the classroom, because as a teacher, you need to prepare for those kind of activities and how you connect it with social media, for example. You use authentic language through the social media, for example, let's say if you have kind of connection with native speakers, would be good, okay, as presenters, especially for some ideas. For students is using appropriate language through the kind of activities, how they can communicate with native speakers. We try to bring in up more native speakers, experts in the field that we are maybe discussing or talking about, thinking about those kind of technologies with connecting to the social media. We have like maybe videos we can share and all those kind of activities. Even for administrators, it depends on what kind of support they can bring in, necessary materials, all these kind of support that we need. Thank you.